Welcome to tonight's training, Powering Up Your Statewide Media, and thank you for joining us. You can follow along with the presentation slides at the link that we'll put in the chat. And tonight's speaker is CCL's Communication and Media Manager, Charlotte Ward. Charlotte has been chapter leader for our Greenville, South Carolina chapter since 2019 and has been on staff since 2021. She has a journalism background and is a mom to two budding environmentalists. At this time, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thanks, John. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. So tonight we have 3 learning goals. Why is media work impactful and important? We'll be introducing CCL's new Statewide Media Manager program. And we're going to get started generating some media in your state. So, activating local media. Why is media work an important tool for our advocacy? So, local media has a far-reaching impact. So, getting coverage in local media, particularly when we mention our members of Congress by name, is a highly effective form of advocacy. And staffers in congressional offices monitor local media to learn what the community and constituents care about. At CCL, we generate local media to send a clear message to elected officials that constituents are concerned about climate change and want them to enact policy solutions. Media coverage also amplifies climate solutions and advocacy opportunities to our communities. And we share how climate solutions improve our lives and that we all have the personal power to change their trajectory. So why do we know it works? Well, I pulled out some examples for you because I really wanted you to see. So we have a very recent one here. A volunteer recently published an op-ed about Fix Our Forests Act, urging their senator to support it. Well, I think they were quite surprised as they were quickly contacted by a staffer from the office asking for a meeting. So they had an impromptu lobby meeting about the bill. As it happened, this senator did not support the bill. However, the fact that they actually invited the CCLer to come talk to them kind of shows our power and the power of printing things like this in our local papers. And we found out this week that the bill had actually passed the Agriculture Committee. And we got a lot of feedback from members on that committee that our local op-eds and letters to the editor, which we really pushed in the last few weeks, had made an impact. So another example, this is an email from a staffer to a volunteer in 2024 regarding their op-ed about permitting reform. And the staffer said, "I just spotted your op-ed. I'm truly impressed and deeply grateful for your work on that. It's a beautifully written piece and an incredible testament to your ability to build bridges across ideological lines. I've already flagged it to our friends in both Senate offices. Keep up the incredible work. It's helping." And in 2023, Delaware volunteers wrote an op-ed about the Prove It Act, which their Senator Chris Coons had sponsored. It was printed by their local newspaper, the News Journal. So it's actually there on the right-hand side of the screen. I've just put a segment of it there for you to see. So another co-sponsoring senator, Senator Kramer from North Dakota, reached out to CCL's legislative staff to say the office had seen the op-ed and really liked it. And they said that they appreciated the education volunteers were imparting in their community. So if those 3 don't show you that our media really makes a difference, then I don't know what to say, but I think it does. So let's understand the media landscape. I know that we have some folks who are probably quite new to media on this call, so I just wanted to go through with you the different type of media that we can seek. So first we have traditional media. So we have print and digital newspapers. So that could be local daily or weekly papers, neighborhood, community or campus newspapers. We have local radio, so that could be talk radio, interview shows, public radio affiliates, college or community radio. And then we have local TV stations. which can include evening or weekend news features, morning shows, and lifestyle segments. These are all things that we can target with our media. And then increasingly, we're seeing new media. So podcasts and video, local or regional podcasts definitely have a place in our states. There's YouTube content makers. That content is really, really growing. So many people get their news and their information from YouTube these days. Then we have influencers, citizen or independent journalists speaking up on social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or Blue Sky. And then online local news and blogs. So hyperlocal news sites, regional environmental outdoor blogs, local advocacy orgs, blogs, or newsletters. So what are the opportunities for CCLers? So first of all, we have our trusty opinion content. So the opinion pages of the newspaper are the one place where we can submit our opinion on things, whether that be with a letter to the editor or an opinion column. It's written by us as community members, and it's published on that page and very clearly labeled as our opinion. A lot of people love to read the opinion pages. I think they find it really intriguing to find out what people have to say in their community. And we have a great deal of success writing opinion content that is published across the country. So that is something that we always try to lean into. I regularly have a LT workshop. It's on the second Wednesday of every month, where any CCLer can turn up and they can have a very quick training. It takes about 5 minutes where we talk through how to write a letter to the editor. We talk about what you could be writing about, the different topics that we want to do calls to action on. And then we spend 20 minutes in the call writing. So that's something that we really lean into with our media work. And then there's earned media pitch to reporters. So this is where we are trying to convince a reporter that what we have to tell them is newsworthy. So CCL volunteers regularly send out press releases pitching timely climate news to local media. And we react quickly to opportunities, offering help and expertise to reporters and keeping our press contact lists up to date. By forging connections with reporters from local media outlets, we become a trusted source for climate information. So just like all our work, those relationships are super important. There's an example there of an article that some volunteers got in the paper. We see this all the time. We see our volunteers finding really interesting and unique ways to develop those relationships with newspapers and local media, so that they come to us because they know that we will be polite, we will give them facts that we check, and we will act quickly for them. And we have lots of available resources from CCL. So on our media relations pages, we have LTE timely topic suggestions. So we update that regularly so that you have ideas for topics for letters around the latest calls to action. And there's lots of general topics on there, whether it's health related stories with climate, whether it's about the economy. We really try to give you lots of links to get to so that you don't have to spend hours researching things. Like, it's all there on that page for you. So if you're looking for ideas for letters to the editor, you can check that out. We also have op-ed templates. So often we'll put together a template that you can then personalize to where you live. So that's often useful. We did that with Fix Our Forests Act. We had some templates go out that people personalized to where they live, and then they put in their own experiences, their own kind of perspective. We have press release templates, which, for example, the one on the right is one that I edited. It was about an event, and then I edited it to actually send to newspapers where I lived about the regional conference that we had in our area. So you can look on there. There's all kinds of press release templates, whether it's starting a new chapter or it's about an extreme weather event that's happened to you. It could be any of those things. There's a press release template which cuts down the amount of time that you spend on that. We also have instructional videos on the media resources page. As I mentioned, we have the monthly LTE writing workshop. We have the media forums, which is where you can go and you can ask a question. And I also post the latest resources and actions on there. And then we have the Writer Circle Action Group. So you may be aware on CCL Community, we have lots of action groups. And if you scroll through them, you'll find the Writer Circle, where we have a great group of writers who often will offer peer support for each other. So people will post a letter or op-ed that they've written and ask for feedback, and someone very skilled will make very nice suggestions in a polite way. So I encourage you to check that out. If you are struggling or you just want some feedback, that's the place to go. So on to Statewide Media Managers. So this is our new program to coordinate media throughout your state. Really what we're trying to do here is have a cohesive approach. In the past, volunteers have worked in chapters or individually to generate media without necessarily checking in to see what other CCLers in their state are doing. So in order for CCL's climate advocacy to be as effective as possible, it's helpful to coordinate media efforts across an entire state rather than isolated efforts in individual chapters. So CCL's new statewide media manager role is designed to strengthen media work in each state. This is a leadership position, and we've been taking best practices from CCL's successful Liaison Program. So Mindy from the Liaison Program kindly gave me her best practices, her tips, and I've utilized that to kind of put together our own program. So we have these statewide media managers who are coordinating media relations statewide. How it works, our new program will support one statewide media manager in each state who will become the point person overseeing cohesive, targeted media outreach in a state. And those statewide media managers will meet monthly with the CCL comms team. They'll be supported in identifying existing volunteers who are engaged in media work across the state. And this will be the beginning of their statewide media team. And they will continue to be supported as they grow their teams and work on the best targeted media outreach for the state that they live in. So we do have some videos here. We have some statewide media managers who are already doing this, and I asked them to just record a short segment for me where they talk about what the experience is like, what they like about it, how it's going. So we're just going to play that for you.
Hi, I'm Poonam Medberry, the Statewide Media Manager for the state of Washington. In this role, I act as the point of contact with the CCL National Communications staff for updates and resources that they develop for us. I bring that information back and share it across all the chapters within the state so we can collectively use these resources available to us. What excites me about this role is really the opportunity to recruit and work with our volunteers across the state as we strengthen and up our media game collectively. I'm also fortunate to work with an amazing team of chapter leads across the state of Washington. Their guidance will really help us strengthen our relationship with local journalists, pitch and publish op-eds or letter-to-editor campaigns, and explore other media opportunities.
I'm Alex Eminette. I'm the Statewide Media Manager for the state of Montana, and I love doing this job. It's a volunteer job, but I work with Charlotte Ward and Flannery Winchester, and we work out how to get volunteers in Montana's Citizens Climate Lobby to write letters to the editor and op-eds. And it's been very successful. I was looking at our action tracker the other day, and we really published quite a bit. I'm trying to make climate change not be a dirty word, but in fact a word that everybody can recognize as something that we need to address. And I follow CCL's guidelines to the T. I work on something every day. I really have a respectful approach. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it. I treat it as a job. So I'm disciplined about it. I always try to get volunteers to attend Charlotte's letter to the editor writing parties, which I find to be great. And the last letter to the editor writing party, we actually had 4 or 5 people from Montana show up, and I thought that was huge. So every little article, every little op-ed that gets published keeps climate change and the solutions in front of, in front of the public's face.
Hi, I'm Pat Bettis. I'm the Statewide Media Manager for Minnesota. I'm very new at this, just a month in, but I attended one Statewide Media Managers meeting, and it motivated me to start recruiting a team of volunteers from all the Minnesota chapters who want to work in media. I do think it's going to be helpful to get direction from CCL National that I can pass on to the chapter volunteers. I think most people want guidance about timely issues and a little nudge to get going. I do think that these meetings with the statewide media managers are going to be helpful to get information and support. And I definitely like the feeling that there is more than one way to approach this role. I got into this role because I wanted to encourage people to write about climate throughout the state of Minnesota, LTEs about climate, anything about climate. If someone is considering becoming a statewide media manager, here's what my state director said to me when I said, I don't know that I'm qualified. She said, I'm sure you are. I don't think you have to have done all the media options. I think, you just have to be organized, willing to learn, and have some time on your hands.
Hi, I'm Elle Murphy, the Statewide Media Manager for Iowa. The State Media Manager program is very motivating because sometimes volunteers don't know where to start with media work. In general, it just makes media work a lot more accessible, but it's also less stressful for the media managers because CCL itself will assist you in brainstorming how to help volunteers while also ensuring you understand what is going on in the government. To encourage all of you who are interested in this role, I say just do it. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there because we all deserve to be heard in this country, and media work is some of the best way to do it. If you want to make a change, be willing to support other people and uplift their voices. This is not a time-intensive role. Honestly, I would say it's probably 4 hours a week at most. I may spend more than that because sometimes I write pre-written LTEs, letters to the editors, for my volunteers. But no matter what, this will fit your schedule. One of the best parts of this role is meeting with other media managers. All of the people in the Red State Media Manager calls are some of the kindest people I know and some of the most inspiring. We always hype each other up, discuss ideas, and support each other. I truly feel like my fellow media managers have my back.
Hi, my name is Karen Jackson, and I'm the Utah State Media Manager. The State Media Manager program has really helped me motivate volunteers here in Utah to do more media work. Having a well-informed manager means there's someone to coordinate, encourage, and back you up when you have questions or hit a snag. It has helped everyone feel supported, and that helps all of us feel more confident to take on new projects. It's also been helpful to get direction, background, and updates straight from CCL headquarters. The information is timely, encouraging, and gives us a bigger picture of what's happening, especially on the Hill. That insight helps us know how to best align our efforts here in Utah to influence our congressional delegation. The time commitment really varies. Some days I'll spend 2 or 3 hours editing, coordinating, or helping new writers. Other days the work is more behind the scenes, just thinking about what comes next or planning for future opportunities. One of my favorite parts of the meeting each month is with our state media managers. We've made new friends, shared writing ideas, swapped tips for connecting with media outlets and influencers, and encouraged each other to keep going. It's such a creative and energizing community. If you're thinking about becoming a state manager, do it. It's fun to brainstorm with new friends, and these new ideas are really motivating. You'll grow your skills while helping your state's volunteers have a bigger impact. Looking ahead, I hope to develop a strong network of writers in every part of Utah, people who regularly publish in their local papers and use social media to reach their communities. Together, we can help shape the conversation about climate solutions across the state. Thanks for letting me share a little bit about what this role means to me.
Thank you to all of you who kindly gave me a video. And you're all doing a fantastic job. Okay, so recruitment. So over the last few months, we've been reaching out to volunteers who are very active in media in their states, and you've just heard from some of them. And we've been asking state coordinators to recommend folks. We will continue to onboard state media managers as they come to us and express an interest. And we are going to put a link in the chat so you can actually see the chart of where we have media managers already and where we need them. So have a look at that and you'll get a feel for whether there's a vacancy in your state or not, or whether there's a media manager that you could reach out to work with. Okay, while you're doing that, some resources and help that we offer our statewide media managers. We do have a program guide that we give them. We've created a group forum specifically for statewide media managers. We are working on a best practice guide for building statewide media teams and troubleshooting. And Elle Murphy has been working very hard on that and helping me a lot. So thank you, Elle. We have an annual calendar. So we're going to help plan ahead, alert about upcoming calls and prompts for pitching op-eds and working with reporters. And then sometimes we'll have a seasonal focus. So specific trainings will be aligned with national events or campaign pushes. For example, core trainings will be repeated before lobby days or major policy pushes. So the call cadence, we have monthly check-in calls with our communications department, and that's scheduled in advance. And presently we're split between blue and red state managers. Now, this can be kind of nuanced, and we know this, like in states, you can have different areas that have different kind of political majorities. But the way that we're using it is red and blue is being used as a way to organize the groups. And ultimately, it's shorthand for the Senate affiliation of a state. But we will also leave it up to individual statewide media managers to ultimately decide where they sit. But our blue state media manager call is monthly on the first Thursday at 1 p.m. East. And the red state media managers call is monthly on the third Thursday at 1 p.m. East. So becoming a statewide media manager, if you have watched this tonight and you're interested, you'd like to step up and become one, you don't need to be a media expert. You don't need to know everything about media work. We're here to mentor you. So it really is a chance to come and learn and not be expected to be able to do everything straight away. And you'll be supported through the process as you start to build your team of local media volunteers. And we have a Google form, which if you're interested in finding out more, you can fill that in. And then we know all about you and we can invite you to one of our calls. So maybe you've come tonight and you're more interested in joining a team. So if you prefer to be a member of a statewide media team, you can sign up to join your state's media team by filling out the second Google form we're going to put in the chat for you. This form contains the link to see if a statewide media manager already exists in your state. Once you join a team, you will hear from your statewide media manager throughout the month. And if your state doesn't have one yet, we'll alert you when it does. And then the other thing you can do is, even if you're waiting to be paired with a statewide media manager, you can still do our calls to action, our media calls to action. So we presently are listing those in the CCL Media Relations forums. That's where you'll find the latest information about resources and actions. And it is my goal to just constantly upload it there so you know exactly where to find it. And I've got a picture on the screen for you. If you go to that page, you can actually subscribe. So you can choose if you want it to come to you the minute I post something, whether you want it daily or whether you want it weekly. And if you subscribe, you're going to receive notifications of new posts. So you'll always know our latest media call to action. All right, well, looks like we've come to the end of the chat. Thank you. This is my email address. Please reach out to me. I have put a post in the media forums with a lot of the different links that we talked about tonight to the Google forms, that kind of thing. So have a look on there if you need to. Reach out to me if you would like any help. I'm really excited about this program. I think it's going really well, and I love the kind of sense of friendship that we're getting with the folks who are doing it. So stay in touch. Any questions, let me know, but otherwise I'm going to let you return to your Thursday evenings.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Citizens Climate Lobby's training program. You can tune into more episodes anywhere podcasts are available. Inspired by what you heard today? Join Citizens Climate Lobby to advocate for bipartisan climate solutions. Go to community.citizensclimate.org to find more trainings, resources, your local chapter, national action teams, discussion forums, and more. Be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram @CitizensClimate. We also invite all of our listeners to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiration.
Like what you hear? Recommend us to your friends and make sure to give us a 5-star rating. It helps us show up on other listeners' feeds. Feel free to pass on any suggestions for future episodes in the comments as well.
And together, we are creating the political will for a livable world.